How you doing?
Pretty good. Making a movie?
Making a movie?
48 hours. It's gonna be great. Right, Andrew? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The greatest.
We're doing behind the scenes. Awesome. And act like you're excited to read it. Yeah. Tear.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah. Exactly.
Filmmaking has been part of my life for nearly 20 years. And what I love about it so much is telling stories. Not just picking up a camera and hitting record and just making it be just like, oh, a fun little video. No, I do it because I love telling people stories. And that's the biggest part of filmmaking, is the storytelling process.
I love the art of film because, oh, wow, there's so many reasons, but I feel like the two main reasons are because I get to create something from nothing, something that I am imagining in my mind, and I can actually make it come to life via film. I also love it because of the art of storytelling. A lot of people need to get their story out there or want to get their story out there, and the best form next to being in person is through video.
Milwaukee's been my home for my whole life. But I've seen so much creative talent around the city, which makes me want to stay here even more, because I see so much talent, whether it's filmmaking, whether it's photography, art, painting, whatever. There's a lot of talent when it comes to the creative fields. And you don't have to go to the West Coast or East Coast to tell these type of stories or be a creative. Be wherever you are, especially in my hometown, Milwaukee. I've seen so much talent. And that's why I love working with these people who are unnoticed, because you help one another out, you teach each other, and who knows, they'll become even bigger than themselves than here in Milwaukee, and they'll get noticed by, who knows, filmmakers, a lot of creatives either on the West or East Coast.
For me personally, as a videographer, as a female videographer working here in Milwaukee, I feel like I've had a lot of opportunity to work with some amazing female business owners, and that makes it really special to me. I feel like this area is so rich in female business owners that I'm able to help their story come to life.
The 48-hour film project first came into my life when I was a sophomore in college. A few filmmaker friends of mine who were teaching us at the time, Phil Cook and Sean Monahan, were part of this film festival in Milwaukee. And it really tested their skills. They had so much fun with it as well. And that really kind of sparked something in me. I'm like, hey, I could try this as well and see how far I could go and test my skills as a filmmaker. And at the time, I was really green. I was really learning all the rules of filmmaking, like the 180-degree rule, 30-degree rule, all that type of stuff, lighting, different cameras, and just learning about like color temperature, all that stuff when it comes to using a camera. It's not just turning it on and hitting record. There's so many different aspects to it. And that's what really made me want to take part in it, is test my skills and meet other filmmakers, because it's a huge networking experience.
I was just super intrigued about the process and how it all came together in 48 hours. And so I gladly accepted the opportunity to be a part of this project. In preparing for the 48-hour film festival, I feel like most of it came from my work up until that point. So I feel like the preparation was all the people that I'd worked with before, all the businesses that I had filmed for, some of the weddings that I had filmed for. All of that prepared me for this new project.
What we're going to do is take our genres, and instead of you picking the genres, although you will have a choice, I'm going to put genres in each of these cups. Random. Don't have any idea who's getting what.
The biggest thought going into any 40-hour film project every year for me has been, what is our genre going to be? This year was actually kind of a surprise for us, because We just got off of doing dark comedy the year before. It was a huge test for us and we were hoping to get something new. And before everything kind of kicked off, I saw all the new teams getting excited as well, sitting down, chatting about, the same type of stuff. And that also got me excited about the competition because people were here getting excited. That atmosphere of filmmakers getting ready and just talking to one another is really what it's all about. It's about that networking, and that's what I saw.
I was super excited for the kickoff. I had no idea what to expect. This was the first time I'd been a part of a project like this, so I was super curious to see what the vibe was gonna be like, what type of people were gonna be involved, who was gonna be involved, and really there was a lot of excitement in the air about getting all the topics, getting your genre, and just discovering what you were going to film for your project. So I would say overall, there was a lot of excitement in the air, and we were just ready to get started as soon as we heard what our genre was gonna be and we got all the other details of our project.
Here it goes. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh my goodness. Same thing as last year, dark comedy or food film.
What?
Oh, all right, you picked it, you got it.
Well, just before we were let loose, obviously we picked our genre, but guess what? That genre was literally the same thing we had the year before, which was in 2020, and it was dark comedy. So we were like a little discouraged, but like, hey, we just did this genre the year before. So we have some experience doing this. This has never happened to us before, to getting the genre twice in a row. So we kind of said, all right, we have experience. Let's try to take it even further this time in dark comedy. And that was kind of our plan going out. And once we arrived at Studio North, we really put those ideas together right away with dark comedy. And we're excited about it.
I think I was pretty happy with what we got. I think because it was my first time, I felt like any genre would have been just as difficult because I was so new to it. And getting this genre was actually, if anything, I was a little relieved and excited because this was a previous genre of my teams. And so I feel like we had a leg up in that sense. Like we kind of knew where to go or what direction to move in because we had a little past experience in this. There was a couple topics that I was afraid to get though, like maybe musical, where maybe we didn't have any musical experience.
Going into production, I always wanted to, prep ahead of time with getting the equipment set up and all that. So once everybody arrives on shooting day, we can just get the camera set up in the proper spot, the lights and all that right away. I wanted all the gear on the tripods, all set up, batteries, everything together in the room. So that way, once shooting day started, we can just get everybody dressed up and then we can start shooting right away. That's kind of like my routine right away when we get into the project, is making sure all the gear is ready to go and then we kind of get the actors kind of warmed up, excited about the project.
The day of, I was ready to rock and roll. I was excited to just experience what it was gonna be like to be a part of a project like this. I knew it was gonna be crazy. I knew there was gonna be a lot going. I knew it was gonna be a long day, but I was very excited, and I think that's what kept me going throughout the day and kept like my excitement up, is just seeing it all come to fruition.
This year was interesting, especially because 2 of our actors canceled the morning of. We literally talked to them the day before, but something came up, one was sick, and then another situation occurred with one of our actresses, which was really kind of a setback. We lost about an hour of shooting.
We had to really just improvise at that point. Improvising meant that we had to find other actors to fulfill their parts, and or we just kind of had to minimize what their part was going to be. So we shifted things around so that way the storyline was still there, but it also made sense with less people or with different characters in play.
But in the long run, it ended up being a blessing in disguise later on for one of our actresses. And she really took up the lead role of our previous actress and really showed her colors and acting skills. It was a setback at first, but it ended up becoming a blessing in disguise later on. And we just had a blast once that was resolved.
Ready to be are you the crazy photographer?
Now she is.
Now I am.
You look like the crazy photographer.
When it came to our shoot, I really loved working with Mina. I loved working with Brendan, all of our people a part of our set, because they really had the energy. They really wanted this project done. And that's what I loved. That's what I had hoped, was making sure people had a great time doing it. And it really showed. I saw the smiles on their faces, also the exhaustion, but that exhaustion showed that, hey, their energy was being put into this. And I mean, going into any film production, it is tiring and it kind of is exhausting, kind of saying like, oh, I really want to get this shot done now, but we also want to do it right, because especially with 48 hours, you're so limited. So we put that exhaustion to the side and just plowed through production. And it really showed in the final film itself.
What I loved most about being a part of this project was everyone coming together with their own particular skill set and making it happen. Not one person could have done this alone. We worked together as a team. There were people here that were just here to help us, to make up for some shortcomings or to give a helping hand. And I feel like if there was any less of us, that our project wouldn't have turned out the way it did. And so having a team, bringing all of our skills together, really made it all come together.
Derek Pfister here, Mina George.
Hey guys.
Production was a long day, but it was a lot of fun, a lot of learning, a lot of collaborating, but it was great.
Yeah.
Enjoyed your first movie day, right?
I did, loved it. We got through the day. We started at 7 a.m. It is now 8 p.m., maybe past it, I think.
12 hours later.
12 hours later.
Yeah, so another 12 hours of post-production, so
We're
it's
not
gonna be
done
fun.
yet.
Nope, not done yet. It's always a sense of relief when you get your film in. It's also a sense of, wow, I always get this feeling every year, like after I turn in the film, is that I mess up on something when I was exporting it, because now I can't go back and fix it. Whatever we just turned in is our final film for the competition. And it's always like, oh, I really hope not. And I always try to go back home once turning in the film and see how it looks. And granted, I did do that this year, but it ended up being perfect. It's just, I was really happy with the results finally this time around, because in years past, there was always something, especially audio. Audio is huge. And that was always a setback for us in the past. This year, it was dead on. And I'm just happy that it turned out that way, because it's one of those things, like I was saying before, year after year, you learn and learn and learn.
It was, I think, all the feelings of a sense of relief, a sense of joy because we completed something huge, and we did it in 48 hours, which is so insane. But I feel like it was a lot of great feelings overall, I feel like.
I am so excited to see the films that came in this year. We have 16 films that are going to be screening. Had we had maybe 20 films, we would have done 2 groups. So you guys are hopefully getting your money's worth, seeing 16 films that were made August 6th through the 8th.
Well, when going into the screening, it's always like high adrenaline, because you're never going to know what to expect, especially with who's going to show up. And I was happy and blessed that a good chunk of our team really showed their energy in this film. And even with the ones that weren't able to make it, they really got back to us saying, wish we could be there. And we really are excited to see what you guys do and how, like, the type of applause you get or reaction you get from the audience. So that's always my big thing, is I'm wondering how the audience is going to take the film, especially when it comes to the judges looking at it, because we don't see the judges at all. They're all behind the scenes looking at our film. So I'm always like, I wonder what they're going to think and all that. But during the film itself, the screening, it was just fun seeing everybody's excitement when they saw their face on the screen or just seeing their work. because it really shows that, wow, we did this in 48 hours, especially all the other teams there. I saw cheering when their films showed up. And it just showed me too that they had fun. And that's the most important part is having fun, creating a story, and just, growing as a team and as a creative.
So watching your film on a big screen is so much fun. It's an experience like no other. It's so exciting, and you have this sense of pride that you accomplished something big. So that part was very memorable. When you're watching other people's films, sometimes you might feel like, oh, their film is so much better than mine, and it may even make you feel down. But I feel like that should give you the drive to want to be better, and that's what it does for me. If I'm watching someone's film, and in my opinion, it's better than what I'm doing, then it just gives me this motivation to keep going and to do better. And I do better. I always tell myself, Mina, you can do better, you can do better, you can do this. That's a constant thing in my head that I say to myself. And I do better because of it. And I feel like, again, having that competition is healthy. It's a good thing. I think that it becomes bad if you let it stop you from improving, if you let it stop you from learning, if you let it hold you back from being a better filmmaker. That's when it can become negative. But otherwise, watching other people's films for me is very exciting because you get to learn from them.
Congratulations to Elizabeth Markman in Shuttershot, chair on Stair Films.
When the awards were announced this year, right after the screening, I was so excited because we made the Best in Show. And that just shows that our hard work paid off after all these years. Our film surprised people, it got people interested, and the judges loved something that we did going into the awards. And we found out that our actress who took the other actress's place for the bigger role, she won Best Actress, and that was phenomenal going into the awards. It just showed that her hard work paid off, our hard work paid off, getting her to look good, getting the camera angles, lighting, all that stuff right, especially our composer. We had a new composer this year, and he really showed his colors because this was his first film actually creating music for. And he did that in 48 hours, which is phenomenal. And it really made her character stand out even more with the scenes. And I was just so proud of everybody's performance, everybody's hard work. No matter how big or small your role is, you all made it possible for this film to be present and be possible. So I was so happy for the results of this year, and I can't wait what we do next year.
The feeling of knowing that we won in a category was so exciting. I felt so proud of my team and all the work that we did. I honestly didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if we were gonna win in a category. And the fact that we did gave me that motivation to wanna do it again and to be better and to continue to improve in all the areas that I can improve on in filmmaking, and to continue to work together as a team. So it was an affirmation of all our hard work, basically, for me.
If you're a filmmaker, I would greatly encourage you to take part in the 40-hour film project because it literally tests your skills and your abilities, especially in a short amount of time. And you're working with your group to create this project in a short amount of time. All these people have different skills, whether you're a camera operator, you're an editor, a gaffer, grip, whatever. Everybody brings those skills in to make the project possible. And if you're any of those roles in the creative arts, I encourage you to take part because you're getting a project done as well in 48 hours. It's not taking weeks or months. You're getting it done within a weekend. And it just shows how your skills can grow. You can test your skills. And overall, be proud of something you created and have fun, and most important. And just create a story that hopefully will inspire or has something that would want your audience go back to it later on. So as a filmmaker, and as somebody who's been in the 40-hour film project for many years, I highly encourage aspiring filmmakers and creatives to take part in the 40-hour film project.
our biggest takeaway probably this year is sometimes things don't go as planned. And that's something to be expected, and in that process, they end up being for the best. And that's something we definitely experienced at the beginning of shooting this year. So it was frustrating, but don't let those frustrations bring you down. Just keep calm, keep working as a team.